I am so excited to meet you. I watched the show ahead of time, and so I asked for you to be here. This is Slash, who comes with you everywhere you go. How old is Slash?
Slash is Platz. Good boy. So Slash is 4 years old now. Yeah, he goes everywhere with me. He's my right-hand man. He's right by my son's side, right by my wife's side. Great with my newborn son, or now he's a toddler. So he's doing great with him, and it's a dream dog.
He's a great-looking dog. Okay, so you've always loved animals. A lot of people love animals. But how did you know that you could train dogs the way you train them?
I mean, it was my destiny. You know, it's just been a process since I was a child. You know, from second grade, I remember trying to figure out how to spell veterinarian. I remember at sixth grade graduation saying I'm gonna help endangered animals and you know, help dogs and rescue dogs. And it's just like, it just manifested. It's like, all these years later, I wasn't the Tom Sawyer kid. I read dog books and horse books and animals. So it was me. This is me.
Are you this good with training, or do you just train dogs? I mean, because you get in the mindset, you understand how dogs think, which is why you're so good. Can you do that with other animals?
Absolutely. Well, I had a lot of experience training with horses as well, and it actually helped me a lot with my dog training.
Oh. So Canine Intervention is what it sounds like. You go to people's homes and you help them with the problems they have.
Right.
It's unbelievable that these dogs, you think they can't be helped, but they can.
Well, there's no bad dogs. There's just uninformed owners. You know, and a lot of times, dogs that the owners just don't know what kind of dog they have, and dogs vary in temperament. So it's really all about understanding your dog's drive and its temperament, and what gives it that, you know, what it perceives as reward, and what its dopamine, and it really helps the dog get through those anxious states when you got him in the right dopamine mind state. I mean, just like with this pandemic, everybody's like down and out because it's so, but you got to do things that keep you excited and fired up, you know?
Right. Your dog Slash really rarely takes his eyes off of you because well, now he did. But I mean, unbelievable. He's just waiting for the next command because he loves you so much. I have to ask you before we go to break. So Portia and I have 3 dogs.
Okay.
And anytime someone comes to the house, or even if we say so-and-so is here, they understand that someone's at the house.
Right.
They know that sentence. They go crazy. They bark nonstop. And we're just trying to, how do we stop them from going crazy and barking?
Well, you have to understand, in 16 dimensions of temperament, one of them is territoriality. So certain dogs are very territorial about their house. And a lot of times, owners, they're trying to get their dogs to not do something when the dog won't even sit for them with no company. So how are you going to get it controlled when you have a door, you know, a bunch of people at your front door? So the basic is just getting this foundation. And our foundation, we start like with the training box, and we build engagement and focus. And it's the first thing we learn. As you see, he's got a lot of focus, right? So we make ourselves the most valuable reward for the dog. You know, we build up that value through, you know, leveraging the rewards. And there's 3 types of rewards. You have praise, you have food, and you have toys. And you know, certain dogs get oversaturated because they get treats for nothing. So we gamify the process, and then we make them work. We give them a job. And then they understand their job is socialization, it's obedience, it's agility, you know, and they just give them a purpose.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to do that. It's just so much work. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I could send all of our dogs to you, they'd come back perfect, and then Portia and I would ruin them because we have to do, right? We have to keep doing exactly what...
You just have to maintain. We say 15 minutes a day keeps bad behavior away.
Really? 15 minutes a day?
15 minutes a day is all it takes. So all you got to do is, you know, a couple exercises just to keep the dog accountable for what they've been taught. You know, so we have a learning phase, a proofing phase, and a securing phase. So in the learning phase is where they first learn. The proofing phase is where you start adding those distractions. The securing phase is the life of the dog. So it's a long-term thing because you have to continue to maintain.
Okay. I don't know if I want to box in my living room. That's the only other thing, too. All right. We have to take a break, but we're going to get some questions because we asked people what they need because everybody's got issues with their dogs, I hope. It's not just me. We'll be back. We're back with Jas from Canine Intervention. It's on Netflix. Great show. If you have a dog, you must watch it. Jas, we asked some audience if they had any questions. This, to me, is really important because I think everyone's struggling with this. We got a rescue dog in April of quarantine. Since we got her, she has never had to be alone. How do we train her to be alone once life gets back to normal? I think everyone rescued pets during this time, which is fantastic. But yeah, how do they adjust when they've had people at home?
Okay, so a big part of the dog training is, you know, you want to create this independence. You don't want to have a codependency, right? A lot of times I tell people to train their dogs separately and walk them separately. So they don't have this codependent because so when something was to happen to one, then they'll be totally totally relying on this other one. So everything that you do is you just gradually build up that duration. So if it's just a 1 minute walk out the room, come back, reward there. build up 2 minutes, and you build up, build up, build up. So it all starts with a foundation. A lot of times, other trainers, they want to go straight to the problem. I don't think that's fair, because I honestly think you need to teach the dog what they're supposed to do before you teach them what not to do.
Great, great. But yeah, I think people do have to start slowly letting them adjust to being alone, or else they're going to freak out. Alicia says, my dog Sasha will not get into her bed unless I'm in my bed at night. She'll start whining if I stay up late.
Well, again, this is something that you can work on. Obedience training doesn't have to be, it's not, some people associate it like it's such a bad thing, but it's just teaching the dog that if they can stay by themselves for a little bit, the reward will come. So the best thing is to just, number one, sometimes a lot of people humanize their dogs. And humanizing their dogs, couches and beds and things like that, the dog starts to kind of see you as equal. And if you treat a dog like a human, they'll treat you like a dog. So you have to be careful.
So you're saying that you say beds, and you don't think dogs should sleep in your bed?
No, because sometimes I deal with certain breeds, right? Because you have certain dominant breeds that you'll get in your own bed and the dog will growl at you for getting in your own bed because they think it's their bed.
Yeah.
So what happens, there's just certain levels of dogs. In the 16
Right.
dimensions of temperament, you have dominance with, people. So
Yeah.
you have a lot of different things. So the dominance could be a problem. Sometimes they'll lack respect if you kind of humanize them too much. You have
Right.
to kind of keep the dog, it's not that they're not a member of the family, it's just like the parents and the children, and it kind of has that kind of order system in the household, and it really helps with just the dog understanding its place in the pack.
Right, okay. Canine Intervention premieres on Netflix tomorrow. You'll get a lot out of it, everybody.